On the night of October 29th, 2018, neighbors in a small village in Guatemala woke up to terrifying screams coming from a nearby house. The screams went on for so long that nobody wanted to go inside. People gathered outside, listening in fear and wondering what was happening. When they finally entered the house, they found a scene so horrifying that a video recorded inside that room would later spread across the internet. Years later, it would be remembered as one of the most disturbing videos ever shared on social media. What happened inside that house shocked the entire country and became one of the most disturbing crimes Guatemala had ever seen. Alejandra was 32 years old. She was a Maya indigenous woman originally from Telaman, Alta Verapaz, a region in the highlands of Guatemala. When she was just 3 years old, both of her parents died. She was raised by her older brother along with her 2 sisters. At the age of 14, she moved to the community of Chisec, where she would spend most of her life. She had 3 children from a previous relationship, and around 2015 or 2016, she began a relationship with a man named Mario. He was in his mid-40s, worked as a security guard, and was still legally married to another woman. That was not the only thing in his past worth knowing about. Mario had previously been arrested for attacking a former partner with a machete. That woman had dropped the charges, which is how he was released, and which is how he remained free to enter Alejandra's life. People who lived near them later said the relationship was defined by control and abuse. What was happening inside the house was not entirely hidden from those around them. Neighbors were aware. The abuse continued regardless. On October 29, 2018, it reached its end. That afternoon, Alejandra told Mario she was going to visit her sister.
My wife left the house, telling me she was going to visit her sister. I decided to follow her, and I saw her get into a truck with someone. Later, when she returned home, I asked her where she had been. What made me angry was that she lied and said she had been with her sister, even though I knew that wasn't true. I confronted her and told her to lie down on the bed. When I checked, I saw that she wasn't wearing any underwear. At that point, I became extremely angry. It felt as though the devil had entered me and was urging me to grab a machete.
Whether those claims were true or something he used to justify what came next, no one on the outside could confirm. What is clear is that by evening, when both of them were back inside the house, he had already made his decision. At around 8:30 that night, with her children somewhere in the house, Mario picked up a large machete. He attacked Alejandra while she was lying on the bed. He used the machete on her hands and her face, leaving injuries that were impossible to repair. The wounds to her face were what would later give this case its name online, because the shape of them resembled the open mouth of a well-known video game character. When the attack was over, Mario left. After he was gone, Alejandra remained alive for somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour. Her children were in the house the entire time. The neighbors had heard her cries for help while the attack was happening, but fear kept them outside. It was only after they were certain Mario had gone that they entered. When people finally came in, they found her still breathing and still conscious. Someone started recording on a phone. In the footage, children can be heard crying in the background. People who were present said Alejandra was still trying to communicate, making an effort to show what had happened and who had done it to her. Neighbors called the police, the fire department, and the press, but the community was located 45 minutes from the nearest municipal center. Help arrived too late. Alejandra died before anyone could reach her. The video recorded that night was shared on social media and leaked to media outlets without any filters or editorial consideration. It eventually made its way onto shock content websites, where it accumulated hundreds of thousands of views over the following years. Then, starting in 2023, it began spreading to mainstream platforms. The name it carried came directly from the footage itself. The wounds visible on her face resembled the open shape associated with the Miss Pacman character, and that comparison spread quickly and became the primary way people searched for and shared the video. Mario fled after the attack and spent 4 days moving through rural areas, reportedly trying to reach Mexico. On November 1st, 2018, he was found and arrested in another village. He confessed after his arrest. He told investigators that jealousy had motivated the attack. During the legal process that followed, he attempted to argue that he had no memory of what happened, that his mind had gone blank, as a way to reduce his sentence. He showed very little remorse throughout the proceedings. The case moved slowly through Guatemala's court system. The country has specialized courts for femicide cases, but delays are common, particularly in cases involving rural and indigenous communities. To put the scale of the problem in context, more than 500 women were murdered in Guatemala in 2018 alone, the same year Alejandra was killed. Nearly 5 years passed before a final verdict in her case was reached. In August 2023, Mario was convicted of femicide by a specialized court. He was sentenced to 50 years in prison, the maximum penalty available under Guatemalan law for that crime. The court also ordered him to pay 50,000 Guatemalan quetzales, roughly equivalent to $6,500, to each of Alejandra's 3 children as compensation. The case did not disappear from public attention after the conviction. At some point after Mario was sent to prison, a video appeared online showing him inside the facility celebrating his birthday. He was dancing and smiling, appearing completely unbothered. The footage spread quickly in Guatemala and produced a strong public reaction. The video continued to circulate alongside discussions of the original case for months afterward. Long after the police investigation ended and the court proceedings were over, the recording continued its own life online, spreading far beyond the remote Guatemalan village where it was captured. Mario is serving a 50-year sentence with no possibility of parole. Yet every day, somewhere in the world, someone presses play. And for a few minutes, Alejandra dies again.